Assalamu alaikum. So, I'm pretty sure some of you know about the Matrix, right? And how people are put in this dream world where they get to enjoy life and everything like that, and then suddenly out of nowhere they can be plugged out whether they use the blue pill or the red pill. Now, it's not the same thing. However, in this case, you can choose to look what's around you and realize the truth, or you can just live in your own imaginative, or rather not imaginative, but like dream world. So Islam shows you everything that your body benefits, or you mentally, physically and all that, and what is negative towards you. Now, if you don't know all of this, then it's like you're living in a life of, zombie. We're just like living out the day and just keep going doing the same stuff. But Islam enables you to open your eyes to the spiritual plane perspective, to the physical plane, and it opens a world that you get to see a great many things that surround you. Now, in society, there's a lot of, different concepts, different understandings, and, different ideologies as well. Islam is more natural. It sticks to nature. And when you embrace it, when you accept it, when you look into it, you get to see, it's like it's a whole new world to things, right? However, sometimes, even though you're a Muslim, your taqwa, your God consciousness kind of fades away depending on what you do. So you need to constantly be like God conscious to understand what's going around you, all these like shows, all these movies, all these terms and concepts that we're having like today, they're all part of this movement or ideology of trying to break humans, right? Now, I know there are conspiracy theorists out there who say, there are these like secret, what do you call it? Secret groups or societies that are meant to destroy society, right? I mean, there are people out there who are doing that. But of course, like, not to go into the whole like clock and dagger or whatever, but there are people who don't want to see, the majority succeed. So they do everything to break you down, to not succeed, physically, spiritually, mentally. But you need to have a very strong persona, a very strong life force, I guess, or a very strong aura, or whatever the case may be, to push forward and try to learn the truth. There's a verse in the Quran which Allah says, مَنْ يَهْدِ اللَّهَ فَلَا مُضِلَّ لَهُ وَمَنْ يُضْلِلْ فَلَا هَادِيَ لَهُ. God only guides. Wow, that's so weird. Whoever Allah guides, no one can misguide. And whoever Allah misguides, no one can guide. Now, this sentence or this statement may seem a bit strange. Like, hey, like, if only God chooses him to guide, like, how can I be guided, Or if, God's the one who chooses someone to be lost, then, like, what if I want guidance? Now, the beauty of the statement is that, like, deep down, what the statement means is that if you're an individual who's really like seeking the truth, you will find it. God will guide you. But if you're someone who doesn't really care about the truth, it doesn't matter how many people try to convince you, you will not accept it. Even though if the proof is staying right in your face, you just won't accept it, right? So yeah, God guides whom he wills and misguides whom he wills. But at the end of the day, you need to want the truth. So The point I'm trying to make here is that we are in a society that is so surrounded with mishaps and, evil and all this negativity. But there is one thing that pushes forward to try and clear all this negativity away: Islam. And when you look into it, you'll find that most of its teaching or ideal and concept are meant to elevate us as humans, psychologically, mentally. They're meant to break us, or not break us, but like free us from the chains of society that we're born into. Free us from the mental chains that we have. Because at the end of the day, when you truly understand what Islam brings or what Islam is, you become free. You become your own, individual. Unlike in the West, where there's this whole idea that the whole I can do whatever I want comes from this like really ritualistic cult, whereby the law is do what thou wilt. So do what thou wilt. Like, oh, I'm God, I can do whatever I want. But in reality, we are humans who, if we break free from that ideology, we can finally overcome the many negatives that surround us, Today in society, there's a lot of people don't have value anymore. They don't have structure. They don't have principles. So all of these things are coming out. It's because they have no guidance. They don't know what it means to be, human, what it means to be a man, what it means to be a woman. So people are confused. So at the end of the day, as a human being, Muslim or not, try to just look into Islam, take a Quran, read the book, and just think, ponder, what if, what if it's like this, what if something like that? Try to reflect, understand, look at nature, look at yourself, look at how society is today, right? I mean, as humans, we all have intellect, we all have a compass of right and wrong, even though sometimes that compass can be a bit, what's the word here? It can be tainted, right? So unless you have an individual, someone who shows you the right path, the right morals, the right moral compass, it's really hard to figure out what's right and wrong. Even though deep down, in our innate nature, to some level, when you do something bad, you feel uncomfortable. There's something off about it. So that's just part of who you are as a human being. You're born with that, right? But to a certain degree, if that's not really properly nurtured or cultivated, it can be really hard to know what's right and what's wrong, even though we were born with a moral compass. So that's something to think about. We're always, most of the time, veiled, not being able to see the truth or what's going on, the reality. But the moment you embrace Islam, the moment you look into Islam, you start thinking wait a minute, what's going on here? There's something up. I can see something, but I'm not really sure what it is. But it's there, you can see it. Then Islam slowly shows you oh, there's this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my advice would be just if you're someone who's interested or just curious, look into it and see what Islam has to provide for you. You can discover what's around you at the end of the day.